Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the first episode of Enlightenment Tea. My name is Sabrina.
I'm Jade.
Yes, and my name is Hey Dizzle T Swizzle. Hate it.
Okay, we wanted to take a second to introduce ourselves and how we met and whatnot. So we've all known each other for a long time now, probably elementary school and on. We all connected when we were younger, and we used to tell each other we're going to go worldwide, we're going to be famous. So here we are, we're doing it.
Here to deliver.
Yes. So the purpose of this podcast, we just wanted to bring you guys some positivity, some enlightenment, of course. And we're going to be digging deep into certain topics that you guys are interested in, anywhere from manifestation, perspective, which is what we're going to be talking about in this episode. So
No, but in all actuality, we all just felt like a calling to just share like our happiness, our love, and we just hope you guys all feel the same as you guys are listening to this, that you guys just feel good energy. You guys feel good vibes. You guys are ready to attack the day, attack the week, and just bada bing, bada boom.
This first episode, we're going to focus a lot on something that is very relevant to the time being, which would be perspective. So Hayden, Jade, do you want to talk a little bit about like COVID and how you've dealt with it in your personal life and like what perspective is and how you've dealt with it?
So, as we know, Miss Rona has not been invited to the party for a long time, but she keeps inviting herself, which I'm not having the greatest time with. But, I went into lockdown with a optimistic viewpoint of having this almost be an opportunity, at least for me as a creative and striving to be a performing artist and just being in the music industry or entertainment industry in general. It's a great time for me to, slow down, be more creative, have a lot less on my plate, and, utilize that EDD money. Can I get an amen?
Amen, sis.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Hayden?
For me, definitely COVID was okay. So my life really hasn't changed much at all because I really worked through the whole entire thing. Basically, it did change in the aspect of obviously like taking the right precautions and stuff, but just like thinking just every day, like especially when you're feeling stuck for during COVID, especially being literally on lockdown, trying to like gather all your food, like you feel stuck at times. And so like my thing that I was kind of like working on is like how to mentally kind of get unstuck when you're still in the everyday routine. So, just using like meditation and other things like that, or even honestly, what I have done a lot. I don't know if you guys can relate. I know, Sabrina, you live right by the river, but me and Bri used to take river walks to literally just clear your mind. Like, rivers didn't close down, boo. We used to walk down, like, literally get grounded. Like, okay, what can I do now? Like, period poo.
Yeah. So for those of you listening who are not too sure, like what we mean in terms of perspective, it's kind of like how you look at your situation and deal with your situation. I know during COVID at the beginning, my perspective, I was unemployed and I was one of those hundreds of people who had a problem getting their EDD money. And I paid for everything myself. So in the beginning, my perspective, to be completely honest, was super negative and totally unlike me. But, I kept using the excuse, oh, I'm just unlucky. I'm just not lucky. Like, it's just my luck, The thing is, I started shifting my perspective and kind of speaking in to existence the things I wanted. Like, I got my EDD money. I started back at work and everything kind of like fell into place. So I think perspective is so important. Because now I kind of reflect on other people and I see other people talking about how they have bad luck. And I think until you learn to change that perspective, you're never going to have good luck. You know what I mean?
100%.
Okay, I'm just going to read you guys the definition of perspective. I got it off my friend Google. particular attitude toward or way of regarding something, a point of view. More of a defined definition of what we're really trying to get at with this conversation. Yeah, we're talking about our different perspectives because we all have different lives and lifestyles of how COVID affected us individually, but this like goes hand in hand with every and any situation in your life, depending on like how you look at your flat tire you got in the morning. Like, yeah, that can ruin your day, but are you going to let it ruin your day?
Another thing to kind of piggyback on it, what just came into my mind was oftentimes, say we get a person that we're dealing with, whether it be like a Karen, a customer Karen, or like a coworker or like a sibling or just somebody that's like, they're having a day. Their energy can easily affect us and be that we could be like, oh my God, like they're so annoying, like blah, blah, blah. We can like feed off of that, or we can shift our perspective and be like, damn, they're probably going through something. I can't relate. Like I'm not about to put myself where they're at. And honestly, I struggle with that sometimes because like I'm a feeler. So like when someone's feeling something, like I'm an empath, so like I feel it too, but I need to learn how to like release and like shift my perspective in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that a huge part of perspective is coming to terms with the fact that your mind is like the most powerful thing that controls you and, you know, how you treat others and how you go about your life. And, you know, a negative perspective is just your mind tricking you. You know, like nothing is ever that serious that you can't like take a negative and turn it into a positive. Like you might hate your job, but I think perspective shifting is all about taking a negative and looking at it as like an opportunity. You know, so I have a bad job, but this is going to teach me so many things in life later on that I don't want in a job, or that, you know, I'm learning what I deserve by going through this bad point in my life. And I think that when you think of things like that, better things come your way.
Okay, on that same perspective shift, Sabrina, I was thinking what always seems to help me when we're going through something tough, like right now, like, you know, my mom, she's going through a strong health struggle, or, you know, even any simple thing. It could be so deep, or it could be like your health, or it can be something like, oh my God, I just got my nails done and they're fucked up. Shout out to Jade Sweeney. No, but what I'm trying to say is that like we can shift our perspective and to know that like this is temporary. This feeling of worry, this feeling of anxiety that you may feel about to be starting school again online and you don't know what to do, that feeling, or that feeling of you just breaking up with someone, you're heartbroken, or that feeling of whatever it may be that's uneasy, that makes you like cringe, like it's so temporary. And
Right.
if we live our life like, okay, well, I'm feeling this and it's okay to feel this. And, you know, I'm going to take notes on why I'm feeling this and work through this. But at the end of the day, it's temporary, and I can wake up in the morning and matter of fact, I will wake up in the morning and I will feel great. I will be refreshed. I will be renewed, and just like breathe into it and know it's all temporary. That hella helps me.
Stop living life as a guessing game. Just know. Like, what's the point? Who taught you to not know what's going to happen next for you in your life? I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that taught you that, but like you are a totally different person. You are grown. You can make your own beliefs, your own mindsets, anything you want. You know what I mean?
Yes, right. And that's like where manifestation comes in, which is a whole nother episode. We'll get to that. We'll go deep into manifestation. But yes, definitely like speaking as if you already have these things, like not what if I get these things, but like I'm going to get these things. This is what's going to happen for me. I think that's a great point, Jade.
Yeah. Key into that is just believing, but then like literally letting go, because I've done the thing this last week and a half. Complete perspective shift.
Yes. Kind of tying together what you both just said about perspective shifting. Like, I think like once you do it here and there, like it'll change your entire life and like the way you look at everything. It just takes like it's all mental. You have to like think about it in your head for it to happen, you know.
Especially if like you want change in your own life. Like say you notice that you're in a cycle, or you have noticed that you've picked up bad habits over time, or whatever the case is. A lot of action towards changing your perspective is being aware of your thoughts and knowing that you and your thoughts are two different things. And thoughts saying, I can't believe I just did that. I don't think I could do this. Why does she get to do this? Remember, that's our ego talking, and we are not our ego. Like truly inside of us, we are that's full of love, full of, if in the Bible, whatever you believe in, if in the Bible we drink the blood and eat the bread, or drink the wine, that's supposed to, you know what I mean? You get what I mean. We are part of God. So if we are truly that powerful, we need to really pay attention to the words that we're choosing in order for us to have that perspective. Like we could take that time to be like, whoa, hold on. I'm saying something that I no longer want to be identifying myself with anymore. You know what I mean? As far as like towards being more aware of what you want to change your perspective in, whether it's a huge like life change, like a lifestyle change, eating habits, or if it's looking in the mirror and immediately noticing how beautiful your freckles are today.
I can kind of like relate to that, Jade. Like when you're talking about like looking in the mirror, like for so long, my skin, my acne has been such like a something I just want to like cover up and not even think about. Like when it comes to like kind of taking care of my skin, I kind of just like push that even under the rug. I just wanted to throw makeup on and just call it a day and forget about it. But like I like shift my complete perspective. Instead of it being like something I need to cover up, being it something that like I need to embrace and care for, has like completely changed the way I view of like one of my biggest insecurities, because of that shift of like I love myself and I love my skin, and we're getting better through this, you know, no matter what, that if it's your skin or if it's any aspect of your body, just knowing that like caring for it, instead of like saying hateful things or rude things to it, saying loving things to it, and your body and your skin will react to that positivity.
The water experiment.
Yes.
Have you guys ever heard of that? It's when you know, I don't know like the full experiment, but I just heard of like the little summary of what it does. You have 1 cup of water and another cup of water, and over a certain amount of days, somebody will literally use their words saying to 1 cup of water, I love you, and truly like feeling that emotion of love. Even if they feel like they're talking to a cup of water, they're imagining their favorite memory at the beach, you know, really feeling that emotion, which is vibration. And then to the other cup, they're like remembering like past memories that hurt them or like change them, just like hateful comments to the water. And over a certain amount of time, like one of the waters like was crystallizing like under a microscope, and the other one was like evaporating more. The one that was filled with hate was evaporating more, and there was even more less moving molecules inside of the water, and it was like turning gray. So if there's literal scientific proof of how powerful our words are, and we are 70-80% water, whoa.
Period, poo. Period. So what if we talked about like, okay, so we know that obviously at this point we know our perspective, how important a perspective shift is, but oftentimes it's like, okay, girls, you guys are talking all this good mess. Okay, cool. But how the do I do it though? Like, how do we focus on changing our perspective when you're in that anxiety realm? Like, what are things that help us kind of shift it? Like, what are things that kind of maybe trick our minds to being like, okay.
Right, because it's definitely easier said than done. I think like what helps me personally, and I recommend like a lot of you guys at home try it, is I talk to myself. I know like you're thinking, Sabrina, only crazy people talk to themselves. Well, I talk to myself and it actually really helps. You know, Like when I was at a point where I was like struggling with self-image issues, I started, it sounds so like cliche and silly, but I started like every morning looking in the mirror and saying like 5 positive things about myself to myself. Like, you are this, you are that, talking to myself in the mirror. Or, you know, even if you don't struggle with self-image, like if you have bad road rage, you know, like, and somebody cuts you off, like instead of cussing and screaming and being angry, um, try to be like, it's okay, you know, they might be in a hurry. It's okay. Like, you know, that's not going to ruin my day. Like, talking to yourself like out loud, I think has a huge impact in tricking the mind for me personally.
If it's like an external type of thing that you need to change your perspective on, don't let it take your power away from you. Like, yeah, you could choose to be mad that that person like cut you off, and yeah, like the perspective change can be, if it's easier for you, like be like, oh, I don't know what they're going through, maybe they didn't see me, you know, it could be like an easy little brush it off type of thing. Or like, why would you let that little action take so much power and energy out of your emotions to react over that? You know what I mean? Giving it so much power over you when it was just a little situation that happened.
Sabrina, first off, I want to say actually that I love that concept of talking to yourself, because that I definitely can relate to that. And then now that you kind of like, I didn't really think of speaking to yourself as in helping that. And now that you said that, I'm definitely going to be starting to do that more when it comes to any aspect of like, whoa, like chill my roll, because I always talk to myself. We all know I always talk to myself, but I might as well do that at that point. So I like that a lot.
I have a lot of ways that I like to bring myself back, you know, in order, if I've gone off the deep end of not really being able to be positive and have the energy to even try to switch my perspective. You know, when you're in a mood and you just want to be mad, you know? Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you're passionate about, but whenever I get pissed off or I get sad about something, or, you know, it's like a point of no turning back. Like, you know, you're going to be stuck in that feeling. I either choreograph something, I either write a song, I either do my makeup for the day. I love being extra and just wearing an outfit for no reason, picking out a cute outfit, taking pictures. So go ahead and vibe with yourself and get yourself right.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so what I was kind of thinking is the first thing that came to my mind that has helped me do like quick little perspective shifts is oils. I love essential oils, oil blends. When I like smell something, especially when I'm feeling anxious or nervous or anything, if I smell it, it gets me in that mindset of being like a steady mind, to think clearly and to really help me stay mindful of the present moment. Because if we're mindful of the present moment, and say we have a lot of chaos going on, say I have tons of homework due, something happened with my car, like I'm worried about something else, whatever, just normal life stresses, right? I have my oils, I sniff them, and I'm like, okay, breathe in. And I'm like, you know what? This is so, like, then the next thing I say is like, this is so temporary. Like, everything's going to work out just as it should. And I always think in my mind, like list good things that can come from this. Like, what am I going to be able to learn from this situation? Because there's always something to learn.
I feel like everyone has their own ways of getting back to, you know, being positive with themselves. Aromatherapy, like Hayden is talking about, is like a really big deal if you want to look into it. Even when it comes to sages and Palo Santo and, you know, but I would really recommend, like, as far as staying in the present, which is also great, as far as bring yourself back to wanting to change your perspective and being mindful of your thoughts, would be like to kind of identify what's not making you be in the present. Are you anxious? Are you not believing in yourself? Like, what's going on? Once you identify, like, say you're feeling anxious, you are worried way too much about the future. You're worrying about what's going to come next. You're worried, not trusting. And then when you're depressed, per se, you are way too caught up in the past and not acknowledging that it's really in the past now. And you're still identifying with what's no longer in front of you.
Right. I think the biggest thing to like draw from all three of our responses to how you can change your perspective is just the fact that like you need to try new things. Like if you really want to like live a more positive lifestyle and you want to have this big discovery of like how to change your perspective on things, you need to step out of your comfort zone and try different things that you've never tried before. Because if you're feeling like a lot of negative energy in your life, but you're not doing anything to change it, then you're just going to be stuck in the same cycle. You know, we all have different ways of doing it that we just talked about. Like there's so many different options. Just trying something could really change your life.
On that same note, something that all three, me, Jade, and Sabrina all have in common is our environment. Making our environment a place of peace. And I know that's not easy for everyone at all, especially, you know, you have kids, whatever. But like something as simple as cleansing your home with sage and Palo Santo and having that open space, that environment where you can like let your guards down to grow in a way. I don't know.
A lot of people may like, you know, feel like they don't really have their own space where they live to make that type of energy for themselves. I think like as small as like your room, being secluded in your room, you can make that your little getaway from the house. You know what we mean when you walk into a place and you just feel like you could relax immediately. Mm-hmm. For me, I live in an apartment in Hollywood, and it's not very, I mean, it's okay, but I don't really have a space for myself. It's a one bedroom, me and my boyfriend share. He's from New York, so he's loud as hell. I'm such a little hippie. I just want peace, quiet, meditation. No, I'm just kidding. I love you if you're listening. I have like a little sliver in my back porch. It's not even a porch, I would say. It's literally like a little slab of cement. And I just did what I could with it. I put a little mini carpet on the ground, put some plants on the floor. I put like a little coffee, like a little cheap TV dinner table thing to put some stuff on if I wanted to do my laptop shit out there or whatever the hell. I like made a little place for myself, like, and not seeing any flaw in it, and just created something as far as being on a little slap of meat.
That's awesome.
I love that because it kind of like what you just talked about ties in literally to what we're talking about this entire episode. Like, you know, you could look at your space and be so negative about it and be like, oh my gosh, I have no room in here. I have nowhere to meditate. I have nowhere to escape. But you do. It's what you make of it. And I think that's like a perfect example of perspective shifting.
Especially when you're living with multiple people, or like Sabrina, like you have roommates. Jade, you're with your boyfriend. I'm now moved in with my fiance. Like it is so much different than just having your own space, like having to share with someone, but then like being grateful about that and just still finding your own, doing your own thing, not letting that hold you back in any way.
All right, guys. So, okay, cut that out.
Why? We can laugh.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our first episode. We would love your feedback. This is our very first podcast, so we definitely want you guys to let us know what you want to hear more of, what you don't want to hear more of, anything that we can do for you. And I'm glad you got your first dose of Enlightenment tea. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Don't be afraid to subscribe. And if you like this, if you want to hear more about, you know, just positive energy, changing your perspective, just spirituality, all that, and a bag of chips, go ahead and stay tuned and share it with a friend, man.
For real. And I just want to say, like, don't be afraid to reach out to us, DM us, hit us up in the comments. Like, we're here for your support. We're here to help you. If you're like, hey, like, this is going on, like, what should I do? Like, we're totally here to help bring each other up. And no matter if, ands, or whats, we're here for you. We're grateful for you. And stay tuned because it's about to get juicy.
Period.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.